Hi guys. Once again, very good morning. Yesterday we configure log shipping right in different ways. One is configure log shipping on one database. We configure log shipping with no recovery, means recovery mode. On one database we configure standby mode. So we configure in on-prem servers like traditional servers, and we configure in Azure as well. There is no difference, sir. Even when you go for Azure and when you go for on premises, there is no difference. The configuration is very same. Absolutely, it is same. Now today we are going to discuss two concepts. One is wrk file. One is what is a wrk file and what is a tough file. Very important two concept. Okay, we have had to discuss. Let me discuss what is wrk file and what is tough file. See, .wrk file means work file. See, whenever copy job triggers, whenever the copy job triggers, what exactly it will doing, right? What exactly it is trying to copy .trn file from primary to secondary server. What exactly it is doing? It is trying to copy the .trn file from primary to secondary, right? Yes or no? See, whenever the copy job triggers and whenever it is trying to copy the .trn file, backup folder to copy folder, the extension will be changed to .wrk file. While it is copying, the extension will be changed .trn to .wrk. Once the copy is done successfully, again it will change to .trn again. It will change to trn, means work file. Work file is nothing but whenever the copy job triggers, while it is copying the file, the extension will be .wrk. Once the copy is done, again extension will be converted into .trn. Because sir, whenever copy job triggers, so let me share, let me open paint. So this is my backup folder and this is my copy folder. In backup folder there are lot of trn files. Whenever copy job is trigger from secondary server, and it is copy and it will reach to backup folder, right? And it is trying to it is trying to copy the .trn files into secondary. Yes or no? So while it is copying, the extension will be .wrk. Whenever copy job triggers, copy job, it will reach to backup folder. Whatever the trn files, it will transfer to copy folder, right? While transferring the .trn files, so when you restore job triggers, whenever your restore job triggers, it won't scan wrk files. It will scan only .trn files because it is still copying, right? So it is still copying. The copy job still copying .trn files, right? It will ignore the files because it is in work, right? That's why it will ignore. That purpose only Microsoft came up with the concept called .wrk file. Whenever your restore job will triggers, it will start scanning all the trn files which is available in the copy folder. So when it starts scanning .trn files, so whenever the copy job triggers, while it is copying, it will make .wrk file, and it will ignore that because it is still copying, right? It is work means still it is not fully copied. For that purpose, Microsoft came up with this concept called WRK file. Both are very important. What are the two things important here? One thing, whenever the copy job triggers, while it is copying .trn file from backup folder to copy folder, the extension will be WRK. Once it is copy, the extension again change to .trn. That is the first point. And why Microsoft came means, whenever restore job triggers, it will exclude the .wrk file. That's it. Very important. And very important is a tough file also. And again, very important, I'm telling, in log shipping they may ask one question, what is dot tough file? And the second question they will ask, what is wrk file? And these two are very important. What is tough file? So when we configure secondary in standby mode, tough file will be created on secondary server. Secondary server will contain the uncommitted data. Very simple answer. How we need to explain means, whenever we configure secondary in standby mode, tough file will be created. Where tough file will be created? tough file will be created in secondary instance means whenever your secondary server is available, right, on that secondary server, tough file will be created. Tough stand for transaction undo files, which will contain the uncommitted data. What is uncommitted data? See, whenever, so every 1 hour, I'm taking backup, that to log backup in log shipping. Suppose 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and 11 a.m., 12 p.m. So every 1 hour, I'm taking backup. Assume some user trigger some insert operation, and insert operation at 9:45. It is completed at 10:15. Now tell me, when you take 10 a.m. backup, this transaction is committed or uncommitted? Uncommitted, right? Still, it is not completed. So when you're taking the backup, the transaction is uncommitted transaction because it is not yet completed. It is keep on running whenever lock shipping is happening. So when you are restoring 10 a.m. backup, so if that 10 a.m. backup contains suppose 10 a.m. backup contains any uncommitted data or any file transaction, any uncommitted data or any file transaction, your database in standby mode. I already told you, right? Every database need to run the recovery phase before it came to online. It's come to online, but this database in standby mode, right? SQL unable to run the recovery phase in the backend. That is why Microsoft came up with the concept called tough file, because until unless SQL will come to online, only it will run the recovery phase. As my database is currently standby mode, user can connect the server, connect the database, and user can read the data. Make note, when your database is standby mode, user can access the database and user can read the data. And when user read the data, and we should not provide uncommitted data to the user, right? That is our responsibility, Microsoft responsibility. So that is the main reason Microsoft came up the tough file. Let's create one different file to store all the our uncommitted data. That is temporary data. So that is the reason you are getting the tough file concept. Not only log shipping. Again, I am telling, not only log shipping. When you are enable standby mode, tough file will be created. Most of the time, log shipping only will configure standby mode. Anyone seen the tough file? Tough file will be in program files. Tough file will be available this path. Go to program files. Go to Microsoft SQL Server. I have I have configured standby mode in stage instance, right? I made it standby mode in stage instance. Go to stage instance. Go to MS SQL. Go to data folder. You're able to see a tough file. Wherever your database data files are available, on that place your tough file will be created. So tough stand for transaction undo files. Whenever you enable standby mode, tough file will be created. It stores all the uncommitted data, and which is stores all the uncommitted data. Someone may ask you definitely one more question. If a tough file will be deleted, what will happen? Your log shipping will fails. Your answer should be, because when your log shipping is restoring, if that log backup contains uncommitted data, right, it will file. If that log shipping is not having any uncommitted data or any file transaction, your log shipping will work perfectly without tough file as well. If a log backup contains uncommitted data or file transaction, your log shipping will be files. If that log backup does not contain any uncommitted data or any file transaction, your log shipping is will success. That is what you need to answer the interviewer. What will happen if for tough file will be deleted? Now, sir, these two are very very important interview questions. Please by heart this one. Apart from nothing, tough file is the topmost interview question in log shipping, and work file also topmost interview question in log shipping. Now you know about what is log shipping, and how to configure log shipping, and how log shipping is works, and what are the prerequisites of log shipping, and how to configure log shipping, and how to configure log shipping in restoring mode, and how to configure log shipping in standby mode. Okay, so how to configure log shipping in Azure servers, and what is stuff file, what is WRK file, max to max, you know this concept, everything. Now, sir, when you configure log shipping, see anywhere, go to SSMS, you configure log shipping. See anywhere you are able to see log shipping. No, right? Yeah. Now, sir, we configure log shipping. Log shipping. See anywhere here log shipping. You're able to see it's part of log shipping here. No, right? When you see here, it is very difficult to identify which database part of log shipping. Now monitor is also very important. And what very important, monitor, how will monitor log shipping, whether it is working or not, whether it is synchronizing or not, it is synchronizing or not, whether my primary and secondary is up to date or not. So how will monitor? So monitor is also very important. So we have two mechanisms, sir. I'm going to show you. When you see here, very difficult to identify, right, which database is part of log shipping, because log shipping is a database level, right? Mirroring also DB level, but mirror we can easily identify. When you come to with log shipping, very difficult to identify. So tomorrow we are going to see practical, right? Then we will get it idea for log shipping to start monitoring. There are couple of ways, not troubleshooting, just to monitor. Two ways, and the simplest way I may be explain. Okay. And one is go to right click on the primary instance, go to instance, and go to reports, and go to standard reports, and there is concept called transaction log shipping. When you open this transaction log shipping standard reports, you will see what is a primary database and what is secondary database. And you will see primary data related data information. And in the primary instance, when you go for secondary instance, this is my secondary instance. You will see in secondary database related information, and what is status of your database. When you see here secondary database, what is my secondary database, what is the backup threshold, backup whether alert job is enabled or not. Okay. And what is the last backup file happen on primary database. You will see complete information from the transaction log shipping standard reports. When you go for secondary also, in secondary also there are a concept called transaction log in transaction secondary. You will see secondary related database data, instance related information, copy job and restore job. See, this is my secondary instance, and this is my copy job, and this is my restore job. This is my last restore file, and last copy file. What is the last backup happen on the SQL server log shipping? And what is the last restore you need to? Actually, what is the last backup happen? And what is the last restore happen? And you need to make a synchronization. And when you are doing failover, here, when you see backup folder, there are 7 files are available. When you see here, 6 files is available. And the test, here also 7 files is available. You need to make synchronization when you want to copy, when you want to fail over, you need to make synchronization all the log files. So this is the one method where you can see log shipping synchronization. Okay, log shipping status and standard reports first, and next one more is already told you, right? In MSDB contains log shipping related information. See here, log shipping monitor alerts. Go to MSDB database. Go to tables. See here, DBO log shipping monitor alerts, and log shipping monitor error details, and log shipping monitor history details, and log shipping monitor primary, and log shipping monitor secondary, and log shipping primaries, and log shipping primary databases, and log shipping primary secondaries, and log shipping secondaries, and log shipping secondary, and log shipping secondary databases. So we have couple of data tables over MSDB, which is tracking log shipping related data. One is a transaction log status standard report. One is the table which is available in the MSDB. Same thing I have mentioned here. One is standard reports and one is SP. So which is available in the MSDB database. You can read the tables, and get the more information, and also you can read the table. Let's start from dbo dot log underscore shipping underscore primary underscore databases. See here, you are getting right. So this is your primary database ID. and internally it is creating, and this is your primary database, and this is backup location, this is your network location, and backup retention, and backup job id, and monitor server will get it complete information, what is the last backup is happened, and what is last backup perform on the primary database. So you will get it complete information. If you want to start monitoring, when you want to start troubleshooting, okay, mostly we want to rely on this. I'll show you simplest way where you need to relay. And when your log shipping is getting filed to troubleshoot, and log shipping will files multiple reasons. So when you want to start troubleshooting, where will start troubleshooting, so that is what very very important. And the right configuration, it is just taking 2 minutes, but troubleshooting is very important. We have a lot of tables, so lot of tables it's containing lot of historical information. So Microsoft is maintaining lot of internal tables and lots of SPs and a lot of base performance counters to start whenever you start working with troubleshooting. Not only log shipping, every concept, okay. And one more thing here, DBCC and help. When you run this command, so when you run this command, and what are the DBCC commands Microsoft is providing, here we will get it complete information. DBCC commands what Microsoft is supporting. And when you go for Google also, check DBCC, DBCC check DB, go to Microsoft blog, you will get it complete information, and check table, and clean table, check constraint, check DB, check file, check table, and clean table, and clone database, and DDL DB name, drop cleanup buffer, free for catchy. We will get it complete information about all the DBCC, what is Microsoft is referring or supporting. That is the one technique. And there is no standard documents where Microsoft is providing. Again, we need to read MSDN block only for a DMV. For a DMV, I can provide one script how we need to monitor DMVs. Select name, comma type underscore DSC system objects here name like this is the script, and select name type DSC from sys dot system objects where name like DM percentage order by name. This is the query you need to run. See all the DMVs. These are all the DMVs. The script you need to run. Okay, on the master database is dot system object where you need to you are starting with DMVs. Okay, around 275 DMVs and DMF are available. Okay, this contain DMV and DMF dynamic management views and dynamic management functions. Around 280 are available in SQL Server. These are all the DMV and DMF. Okay, so when you want to see, suppose when you want to see weights, there are weight commands. Around 1070 is available. Weights are available. What exactly they are doing? Whenever we are getting command, we are going to search on Google only. Microsoft is not that much well documented. You can do only to anything, that because each concept is Microsoft is not that Microsoft guy who provided well. We have performance counters, and when you want to see performance counters, and select star from is dot dm underscore os. Here 1684 is there, and we are going to discuss only 10, and weights we are going to around 1000, and we are going to discuss 10, and we are having 200 DMVs. We are going to discuss 10. Okay, top weights are we are going to discuss, and top performance counters we are going to discuss, and top DMF and DMVs we are going to discuss, top DBCC commands we are going to discuss. So when you go for memory point of view, so there are lots, and let's again I'm telling. So not SQL. If you're not easy SQL, when you go for tuning, log shipping or mirroring is a very simple task to DBS. This is also one of the important concept. Around 284 clubs are available. So we are going to discuss top 10. Top 10 we are going to discuss. Okay. No one, even when you go for experienced guy also, no one will remember till all the DMS, all the DMFs, and all the weights, all the clerks, all the object which are available in the SQL server. But what is the frequently we are able to see, and whenever you're working, your experience will be learn. When you struggle something, then you will start learning. If you're not working with anything, any tuning, we will never learn. Biad is something different and practical is something different. When you start working, so because every environment to environment, the troubleshooting is definitely will change. What is your third process here? So when you want to start monitoring, and there are standard free defined tables which is our availability MSDB, and there are free defined reports which is available. Instance level standard report is available. Need to and watch what is the synchronization, and what is the last backup, and what is the last to restore. Forgot about copy. You need to mainly focus on backup and restore, because if both files are same, right? Same means whatever the data is available in the primary, same data is available in the secondary as well, right? Now assume my log shipping is working perfectly, and you need to search in Google and how to find log shipping synchronization and how to monitor log shipping. You will get it lot of blacks, and you will get it lot of queries, and try to copy that queries and try to execute it. You'll see what output you are getting, and there is your laptop. If you play with your laptop, okay, so you need to search in Google and get it script. Getting the script is not easy task. Again, the best describes you can get, and you can get the script. I can agree with you. Best means if you run single, will get it lot of information. That's what you need to get into the queries. So how frequently you are searching in, and Google also very very important. Now sir, I'm going to perform a failover now. I want to currently fraud is the my primary database, which is acting as a primary database. Okay, my test is the acting as a secondary, and my stage is the acting as a secondary. Let me connect all the instance. My test is acting as a secondary database, secondary instance. Test also acting as a secondary. Now what I need to do means I want to do the failover. Now I want to do failover means I want to make a fraud as a secondary, and this any one of the data instance I need to make as a primary. Before I start log shipping failover, what are the steps we need to follow? First step, what we will do, and verify the last backup and last restore. Same if it is or not. Here 22 is items is happen in backup folder. Coffee folder also 22 items. Everything is synchronized. Now everything is good. If not, let's sync the both database. So what I need to do for that? Now let me go to the SQL Server agent. So what I need to do for that? And let me open the SQL Server agent. Let me first disable the backup file. Let me disable the backup job. I have disabled the backup job. Here in backup folder, there are currently 24 items. For temporary, I have disabled the backup folder. I'm not deleting and disabling. I'm not deleting anything, just disabling means once you disable the job, it won't trigger. You go here, and what is the last transaction log backup? 3402, right? 3402. My synchronization is up to date. Both are same, right? Your primary backup file and your secondary restore is same, right? If it is not same, and what you need to do, go to SQL Server agent, and let's trigger the copy job, and let's trigger the restore job. Then my case is same, but if your people are different, you need to trigger the job in secondary server. Again, restore job you need to trigger, and verify last job 24 3402 3402. Okay, let's disable the job in secondary servers also. Let me disable copy job and restore job in secondary also. Now we are good, and the first step is done. And what is the second step? Can I take tailog backup? Option pan tailog backup. We need to take tailog backup log HSBC. Navigate the path here. Go to C drive. Go to program files. Go to SQL server. Go to test server, test instance. Go to MS SQL. Go to backup. Let me delete previous backup. It will convert into WRK file. So why Microsoft is changing WRK file? Why Microsoft is changing WRK file means there are one benefit, and see in secondary server there is a restore job, right? What is the purpose of restore job? Restoring the .trn file which is available in the copy folder. So when you restore the now failover the log shipping. Currently fraud my primary database which is acting as a primary database, and my test is the acting as a secondary. Now I need to do means I want to do failover. I want to do failover means I want to make fraud as a secondary and test as a primary, and any secondary as a primary, any of this as a primary, and the failover moving the connection now. Before I start failover, okay, let me log shipping failover steps. So first step, what we will do? Verify the last backup and last restore. Same if you're not, let's synchronize both databases. First verify the last backup. This is my last backup, my last copy job. All of them is same, right? Here 47 is there. Now what I'm going to do? Let me go to SQL Server agent. First, let me disable the backup job. Keep on running, right? That's why we need to synchronize the both databases. I have disabled the backup job for temporary. I'm not deleting and disabling. Disabling means once you disable the job, it won't trigger. When you go to backup folder, around 47 backups is happen. You go to the coffee folder, here 46 log backups is happen. We need to synchronize both databases. Here also 46. Your primary backup file and your secondary restore job store is not same. Now what we need to do? And go to agent. Let's trigger the copy job. I'm triggering the copy job. My copy job is done, and let me trigger restore job as well. Yeah, my restore is job is done. Let me check here. 47 backups is available. What is the last backup? 3402, right? When you verify backup folder, same 3402 47 items. Here also we are running. Other secondary server also we are running copy job and restore job. Let me trigger the copy job. Let me trigger restore job as well. Meanwhile, you can verify stage folder as well. See, all synchronization is happen. My synchronization done. Let me disable all secondary backup files. Let me disable copy job. I have disabled my copy job and restore job as well. I'm disabling. Here also I'm disabling all. I have disabled copy job. I'm disabling restore job as well. Now we are good. Let me alert job as well. We can disable. Test also I'm disabling alert job. Fraud also I'm disabling alert job. All the jobs I have disabled. Now what we need to do? Verify last backup. This is my last backup. This is my last backup. First step is done, and I have taken. I have synchronized all the backup files. Now can I take tail log backup? Backup log database name HSBC to disk equal to. Navigate the path. Go to program files. Go to SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. Go to fraud instance. Go to MS SQL. Go to backup. Take this path HSBC tail dot ERN. No recovery. No recovery command. No truncate. I need to mention. Now we are good. And backup log HSBC to disk. Let me trigger the tail log backup. I have triggered my tail log backup. The database name I have given wrong. Let me trigger the tail log backup. My tail log backup is done. My database will go to restoring mode. Let me refresh it. My database went to restoring mode. My backup is done, and your database went to restoring mode. Okay. Now what you need to do? You need to verify and where you have taken the backup file. Here we have taken the tail log backup, right? You need to copy the secondary. I'm going to make a test instance. Test instance is the primary server. That's why I'm copying here. Test instance, delete previous one. I have copied my tail log backup. Let me connect to the instance. Let me connect to the instance. See, my database is restoring mode, right? This I need to make primary. We need to bring online to the database. Go to task. Go to restore. Restore transaction log. Navigate the path where backup file is available. I'm taking plain tail log backup, plain restore. Can okay. All is good. And here one more thing. And with recovery need to go. My tail log backup is completed. My DB is got restored. My database came to online. This is make as a primary. Yes or no? And I have restore my tail log backup. This is the plain tail log backup. Okay. And you need to next step. What you need to do? And perform the tail log backup on primary database. And this step we have copied the tail log backup in the secondary database with recovery. And what is the first step? Now the again same concept. What is the same concept? You need to reconfigure the log shipping again. You need to reconfigure. Now you need to acting as primary, right? This one. Go to task, go to ship transaction logs, go to task, ship the transaction logs. Now enable the primary database in the log shipping configuration. Enable the backup jobs. What is the backup folder? It is instance is different, right? Let me give same path only. No need to change anything. And backup folder is there, right? Same folder you need to mention because I am going to fail back in after some time. Again, it will fail back after some time or some days or couple of time. Make backup folders should not be changed. Keep the backup folder on the same. Whenever I'm enabling secondary, and whenever I enabling secondary, it will ask backup folder. I have navigated the path. If you want to, you can navigate this path as well when you configure backup job. I am creating retention period 24 hours. Alert if no backup occurs within 30 minutes. I am making 30 minutes. Schedule the backup job. Let's every 2 minutes I am running backup job. This is my backup job is configure. Let me add secondary instances. Fraud is secondary, right? Same approach only. How we configure earlier. Same approach only you need to follow. Nothing else. Let me copy the path. I have copied the path and delete after 24 hours my backup file and schedule the copy job. Every 3 minutes I am scheduling copy job and restore job as well. Restore job I'm configuring no recovery mode and delay my restore backup at least 4 minutes. Alert if no restore job is occur 30 minutes. I'm making schedule the restore job as well. 4 minutes I'm making every 4 minutes restore job will be done. My secondary instance is added fraud. Again I'm adding one more secondary. Connect to the instance. Go to stage instance. Connect the instance. No synchronization. We have done right already. No secondary database initiated. We need to select that option. After that, go to coffee. Let me create coffee job. Go to this folder. Go to stage folder. Let me copy this. Failover very very important. We need to practice more. Then only we will become strong. 24 hours I am making. Let me trigger my copy job every 5 minutes. In real world, make it every copy job and backup job and restore job every 15 minutes time gap we can maintain. Delay restore job every 5 minutes, every 6 minutes I'm making. 30 minutes if no restores occur, alerts will give. Schedule the restore job as well. 6 minutes. See my secondary instance, one more is added. You can add multiple secondaries. Yeah, my lock shipping is done. Trigger my lock shipping. Again, this is very hectic concept when you are doing failover. You need to do lock shipping, but so only lock shipping, sir. Mirroring always on and clustering very easy. A single shot, we can do the failover. Just milliseconds, you can take lock shipping is the lengthy process, manual process. All the things you need to take care for failover. You need to do more time, become stronger. Everyone is having lot of confusion with failovers only. I can fail back same again. You need to do the same fail back. How we have done failover? We have make the secondary instance is the primary and fraud is the fraud is the secondary, right? Like that make it as it is. Failback also same thing. Failover also same. Both are same. Need to follow when you are working with lock shipping. How you can go and verify in the server. Here in coffee, here in test instance, you will get it backup job and alert job. In this instance, you will get it copy job and restore job. To refresh it, copy job and restore job got it right. You got it right. This is how you need to fail back. So you need to fail over. Both are same you need to follow when you're working with lock shipping. Do multiple times fail over, then you will become more stronger and fail over monitor and a tough file and a lock shipping will works. Now verify here also. Now my primary is working. This is my primary instance copy job. This is acting as a backup job. This is acting as a backup file and is copy file. See my 53 items is available in backup folder. It is copying, right? From primary to secondary, it is copying, right? This is how you need to fail over the log shipping and fail back also same thing, same approach only. You need to follow. Sir, what are the advantage and what are the disadvantage? The major advantage is n number of secondaries. Major advantage is the n number of secondary Log shipping will be supposed to read only replica. You can read the data and you can keep n number of secondary. And one more advantage is should also maintain the less bandwidth because it is working with through jobs, right? So if bandwidth is not that good, also log shipping will work perfectly. Now when you compare with mirroring, when you compare with always on or clusters, log shipping will work little bit better performance in your bandwidth that much not good. That is the one thing log shipping is the best technique whenever you are performing the migrations. I will explain you. That is the point migration concept. This is also additional points. Accepting it is a best DR technique and it is a database level property and also DR technique and a major disadvantage is failure. There is one major disadvantage and that is one thing you need to more concentrate. When you configure log shipping, please don't configure log backups and you can take full backup and you can take differential backup and don't configure log backup means right, you are already discussed. You configure three backup jobs on every servers on log shipping servers. Please ignore the transaction log backups because you are already taken the transaction log backups in the log shipping, right? No need to take the transaction log backups. Again, just will configure full backup and differential backup. Please don't configure log backup. If you configure log backups, your log shipping will keep files due to LSN change, LSN mismatch. That is the one point you need to make note. Log shipping, please ignore transaction log backups. You can take full backup and you can configure the differential backup because log shipping is working with backups, right? No need to new concept. No need to configure log backups. It is via the trn files it is working, right? No need to configure any transaction log backups. Okay. Now we are going to enter new concept. We are going to starting one more new technique that is database mirroring, which is introduced on SQL Server. Me open my PPT. Now we are starting one more technique that is database mirroring, which is introduced on 2005 enterprise level feature. Okay, so database mirroring. So what is the database mirroring and what are the prerequisites and how to configure, how to monitor, how to fail over and how to fail back, and we are going to discuss about troubleshooting as well. Today we are going to discuss the complete theoretical part. Okay, and mirroring is very simple concept when you work with log shipping. Very simple. Now let me start mirroring once again. The database mirroring is introduced in the SQL Server 2005, which maintains only two copies. Which maintain the only two copies. Log shipping will maintain the multiple copies. Will you agree or not? But when you go for database mirroring, and a database will maintain only two copies. So in mirroring, it will maintain only two copies. So two copies of database, which will synchronize continuously means database is synchronizing continuously between the two databases. Database mirroring also database level property, database level configuration, not instance level, not any groupings. It is also database level and DB level. In log shipping, your data is transferring through log backups, right? You will agree or not? Yes or no? In database mirroring, your transaction logs are replicating via network protocol. Here, no need to take the backups, no need to do manually copy, nothing, sir. Automatically, your data is transferring through network, not internet. Don't think that is internet, through network protocol. That is endpoints. In mirroring, in always on the data is transferring through endpoints. Okay, we'll discuss what is endpoints. No worries. Just to make note, mirroring allows the transfer the transaction logs from principal to mirror. Here in mirroring don't call principal and secondary. In database mirroring, you should call it as a principal database and mirror database. So how data is transferred in mirroring? Your data is transferring through network protocol through log blocks. Someone is asking what is the database mirroring? So database mirroring is two synchronized copies continuously transferring the data via protocol. What is the protocol? Endpoints. Endpoint is the protocol will be created when you enable the database mirroring. it support automatic failover, and mirroring it will support automatic failover. Technically, technically you need to call as a partners to partner configuration. For your simple understanding, there is no perfect definition, but for make clear description, so database mirroring will maintain two synchronized copies continuously via protocol. It is transferring the log blocks. It is transferring the log blocks from principal to mirror via endpoints. In mirroring, you need to call it has principal server, mirror server, and a witness server. And the principal server is nothing but your production server where you are to read write operations, right? Read write you are performing, and where you are monitoring, where we are monitoring or starting. It's a production server. Okay, it's a live server where you need to mirror starting. You can perform read write operations. It is the original server. What is the mirror server? Where your mirror will be ends means say copy of principal server. Mirror server is nothing but copy of principal server. Now very interesting here, witness server. In log shipping I told you, right, read monitor server. In mirroring you have the witness server. What is the purpose of witness server? In log shipping there is no purpose of monitor server, does not make any sense, but mirror witness server plays a crucial role. When you witness server is checking the heartbeat of your mirroring means it is trying to making the heartbeat means validating. How it is validating? How it is validating means, are you healthy? I am healthy. It is checking the database mirroring heartbeat of your mirroring. Witness server will check the heartbeat of your mirroring. How it is checking means, are you healthy? I am healthy. Are you healthy? Yes, I am healthy. In case if you are not healthy, it will initiate the failover, and it will initiate the failover. Getting my point, right? Witness server will check the heartbeat of your database mirroring, and it will initiate the failover automatically. If principal goes down, it will do the failover. Your mirror will become the principal, and the principal will become the mirror. Automatically it will become principal to mirror, mirror to principal. No need to worry. Try to understand the logic. If you know the mirroring, you are almost know about always on as well. Always on is nothing but your mirroring only. Again, if you are strong with in mirroring, you are almost strong in always on as well. Your principal server is nothing but where your mirroring will start. It's a live server where you can perform read write operations. Mirror server is the copy of the principal server, and witness server is nothing checking the heartbeat of your database mirroring, heartbeat of your database mirroring. In case of principal is down, your witness server will do the failover automatically. That is what prerequisites we can discuss later. When you go for a database mirroring, we have two modes. What is synchronous mode and one is asynchronous mode. You can configure mirroring either in synchronous mode or in asynchronous mode. So when you configure mirroring in asynchronous mode, what is happening in the backend? And when you configure asynchronous mode, what is happening in backend? That is what most important. That is what important when you configure database mirroring in a synchronous mode. When you configure database mirroring in asynchronous mode, what is the happening in backend? What exactly happening in the backend means your principal server sends the data mirror server and waits the acknowledgement your principal server. And what exactly is happening in the backend means, your principal server sends the data to the mirror server and waits for acknowledgement. Your principal server sends the data mirror server and waits for acknowledgement whether data has been received to the mirror or not. It will wait when you configure the synchronous mode. When you go for database mirroring, we have two modes, and synchronous mode and asynchronous mode. You can configure mirroring either in synchronous mode or in asynchronous mode. So when you configure mirroring in synchronous mode, what is happening in the backend? And when you configure asynchronous mode, what is happening in backend? That is what most important. When you configure database mirroring in synchronous mode. When you configure database mirroring in synchronous mode, what exactly happening in the backend? What exactly happening in the backend means your principal server sends the data to the mirror server and waits for acknowledgement. Your principal server sends the data and sends the data to the mirror server and waits for the acknowledgement whether data has been received to the mirror or not. It will wait when you configure synchronous mode. See, when your configuration is synchronous mode, when you're trying to insert the data and it will go to the principal server log file. Once it is received principal server log file, it is sending the data to the mirror log file. Mirror once received to the mirror log file, it is sending the acknowledgement to the principal server. Then it will commit. Then it will commit, sir, in the synchronous mode. That is what. Let me show you tricky demo. If you understand this now, if you understand this, see, assume this is primary principal. Assume this is principal, and this is this is mirror. Forgot about log full. Okay, this concept is not available in the mirroring, sir. Again, when you trying to insert the data, when you are trying to insert the data, it will go to the principal server. Whatever the transaction you are performing, all transaction will made the in buffer. Insert will occur in the buffer. Once it is reach into the understand the logic, very important. Whenever you're trying to insert the data, it will go to the buffer, as everyone knows, and it will go to the buffer, right? Once you reach the buffer, it will harden into the your principal server log file. Once it is hardened into the principal log file, immediately same data means same log blocks are sending to the mirror server. See, it is sending the log blocks. It is sending the log blocks to the mirror server. Once received the mirror server log file, it will send the acknowledgement, same log block. It will send the acknowledgement. It is received in the mirror log file, and it will sending the acknowledgement to the principal server. Once you receive the acknowledgement from mirror server, it will commit the data until unless it won't commit the data. So forgot about log cache and log false, and we'll discuss always on, right, and I will show you more slide, very tricky slides, very interesting slides in mirroring. When you configure mirroring in synchronous mode, your principal server sends log block to the secondary mirror server and waits for acknowledgements. Let's go to asynchronous mode. In asynchronous mode, see whether you are inserting the data in the asynchronous mode. When you insert the data, it will go to the buffer. It will harden into the principal log file, and it is sending the data. But in this sending acknowledgement to the customer, it is not waiting for any acknowledgement from the mirror server. When you configure asynchronous mode, your principal server does not wait for any acknowledgement from the mirror server. In asynchronous mode, your principal does not wait for any acknowledgement from the mirror server, and in case they may data loss as well. I'm not sure whether data has been received to the mirror server or not. They may data loss. When you decide to configure in synchronous mode or asynchronous mode, we have two modes only: asynchronous mode. Okay, but synchronous mode, we have two types. What are the types are high safety with automatic failover, and high safety without automatic failover, and high performance. So when you have three types mirroring, we can configure high safety with automatic failover, and high safety without automatic failover, and high performance. These three types we can configure mirroring. What are the three types? High safety with automatic failover, and high safety without automatic failover, or synchronous mode. And high performance is asynchronous mode. There is operation mode. Three types. How many types you can configure? Mirroring means three types. You can configure high safety without automatic failover, and high safety without automatic failover, and high performance, and two synchronous mode, and one is asynchronous mode. Now high availability means you can make it is a high safety with automatic failover. Here we mention high availability just for you, and you make it as high safety with automatic failover. When you go for configure high safety with automatic failover, safety is full in synchronous mode, and safety is full means there is no data loss, until unless data received to the mirror server. And the principal server does not commit means does not you are unable to truncate, sir. When you go for troubleshooting, you will learn. Okay, try to understand the concept. Synchronous is nothing but safety, means no data loss. When you want to configure high safety with automatic failover, you configure witness server, means that is what I mentioned here. You cannot configure high safety with automatic failover. If we have witness server, means we can maintain 3 instances. If you have 3 instances, then you can good to configure automatic failover. If you have only 2 instances, you are good to configure either in manual failover. Again, it is a manual fail. If you want to make automatic failover, you must and should require witness server. High safety with automatic failover require witness server. And one more point also, you need to make notes. Quorum. I'm not discussing more about quorum in mirroring. We will discuss quorum in clusters. Around 1.5 hours, we will discuss about quorum. It's not easy to discuss in just 5 to 10 minutes about quorum. When you Microsoft started designing database mirroring, and he taken one feature from the cluster. What is that feature is nothing but quorum actually. Quorum concept for the clusters, not for mirroring. Main quorum is the heartbeat for heart of your clusters. But whenever Microsoft starting design database mirroring, he taken small piece of concept from cluster, that is quorum. So in mirroring also contain the quorum, but it is not there. There is not a physical quorum. That is a logical quorum, means you cannot see the quorum front end, and from front end you cannot see the quorum. It's a logical quorum. It's virtual quorum. Okay, you cannot see the quorum, but there is in mirroring, and there will be quorum is available in the mirroring, but it is not physical, sir. Physical means you can see, physical means you can see the logical, means you cannot see. Physical means you can see the quorum, and logical means you cannot see. So in mirroring, there is a concept called quorum, but quorum is the logical quorum. It's not a physical quorum. Make a note. First point: what is quorum? How it is working? And we are going to spend more time in clusters. No worries. In mirroring also there is concept called quorum, which is storing for the messaging purpose. Messaging, I told you, right? Are you working? Yes, I'm working. Are you healthy? Yes, I'm healthy. Where it is passing these messages via quorum, via saved memory. So internally we will use some memory in buffer to pass the response, and we will discuss lot. No worries. So there is concept called quorum in database mirroring as well. So as I told you, quorum will act as a messaging. You cannot treat it as a database as well. Quorum contains memory configuration information, and quorum will contains cluster configuration information. You can call it as a database as well, not our physical database. And a logical database, quorum will contain the mirror configuration information, and quorum will access a messaging, and quorum will act as a checking the heartbeat, and quorum will check the heartbeat as well. This point commonly we will discuss in the clusters more. But if someone is asking, is there any quorum is available in the mirror? Yes, only when you configure high safety with automatic failover. When you configure high safety with automatic failover, quorum will be available. If you are not configuring with automatic failover, there is no concept called quorum in the database mirroring. When you configure a quorum, will comes to into the picture and store the mirror related information and mirroring related information, and it is taking heartbeat of your mirror. See here, I explained clearly, sir. If a principal fail, suddenly quorum of two quorum and witness talk to each other. Your quorum and witness talk to each other, and both talk to each other, and it will do the failover. Your quorum and your witness do the failover from principal to mirror, and from mirror to principal, and your principal will become mirror, and your mirror will become the principal. How it is doing a failover means your quorum, your witness is talking to each other and it will do the failover. Then your mirror will become principal and a principal become mirror. Okay. If you want to configure high safety with automatic failover, you require a witness server support to automatic failover. It's a synchronous mode and you can make a definition here. Forgot about quorum. High availability means more run synchronous. You require a witness server and the mirror will decides automatic failover. Then mirror will become online. For your simple understanding, when you preparing sir high safety with automatic failover, require witness server. It is in synchronous mode. In synchronous mode, what is the behavior? Principal server sends the data to the mirror server. Wait for acknowledgement. If something happened to your principal server, your witness server and your quorum will talk to each other and it will do the failover. Once it is failovering, your mirror become to principal. If you are confusing here, definitely will confuse always on as well. If you are perfectly all right, almost 80% is done with always on. Always on is nothing but mirroring only. If you are understanding logic here and simple here, very simple. You have only two modes. What are the two modes when you configuring mirroring and in synchronous? Whatever the changes you are performing on the principal server, all the changes will move to the mirror server and it will wait for acknowledgement. That is synchronous mode. If you configure asynchronous mode, principal server sends the data to the mirror server and does not wait for acknowledgement. In when you go for configure, we have three types: high safety with automatic failover, high safety without automatic failover, and high performance. Okay, when you configure high safety with automatic failover and when you configure high safety with automatic failover, you require a witness server means you require a three instance. Definitely you require three instance. Third instance is the witness server and it support automatic failover and it is a synchronous mode. Data will be protected during the transaction. Principal server harden the log blocks and what is the logs and when you start reading the log file architecture, you will get to know during the transaction. Principal server harden in log blocks. What is the logs? When you start reading the log file architecture, you will get it know what is the log block. So log block contain the log records internally. When you go for internal, okay, external we already discussed. When you go for internal during the transaction and the principal server harden the log blocks, okay, and sends the log blocks to the mirror server. That is what I told you, right? In log blocks will send the to the mirror server. If your log block is contain the log records until unless it will harden into the mirror log files, it won't commit means once your log block is received to the mirror server, same log block will come to the principal server. When you configure high safety without automatic failover, it does not require any witness server, but concept again the same. It won't support automatic failover, but concept again same. Your principal server sends for the mirror server and wait for acknowledgements, but it won't support failover because there is no concept called quorum and there is no concept called witness server when you configure high safety without automatic failover. When you configure high safety and it is asynchronous mode, in asynchronous mode your safety will turn it off means and possible of data loss. Here I'm not guarantee there will be data loss, but they may possible data loss means your principal server not waiting for any acknowledgement from mirror server. When you configure asynchronous mode, we have only so when you sends the data to the mirror server, does not wait for acknowledgement in high performance mode. It won't support automatic failover and it won't support manual failover. It will support only force failover. There may be data loss when you perform force failover, whether your data is synchronizing or not synchronized. It will do not it will do the failover maybe data loss. Manual failover means you are making synchronized and you are doing failover, and manual failover means you are making synchronized or you are doing failover, and force failover means you are forcefully telling to the sequel. Force failover means you are forcefully telling to the sequel bring, but I'm not guarantee whether data is synchronized or not. Maybe data loss possible for the data loss. That is about three types. Someone is asking how many types of mirroring. You need to tell three types: high safety with automatic failover, high safety without automatic failover, and high performance. And high safety with automatic failover and high safety without automatic failover or synchronous mode. High performance is asynchronous mode. That is what mirroring modes, and that is the theory part of your mirroring. And tomorrow and next session will come up with another concept. Will configuration mirroring configuration will come up. That is what today's session. Thank you for everyone. That's it for today's session.